Hey guys, today we're checking out the Outdoor Vitals Ventus versus the Outdoor Vitals Vario. That's next. Having an active layer out in the backcountry in the cold temperatures is a crucial piece of gear, especially when you're doing high output activities. It's important to be able to maintain a good core temperature without overheating so you don't sweat, while also not getting cold so you don't freeze. Sweating in the cold can lead to hypothermia, which can be very dangerous out in the backcountry. So active layers allow you to release the hot air while also being able to do high output activities. They're stretchy and warm while also being super comfortable. Two active layers from Outdoor Vitals are the Ventus and the Vario. They're very similar, but they also are for different ranges of cold temperatures. So let's check them out in a bit more detail. Outdoor Vitals is a backpacking cottage company that makes quality lightweight gear and clothing without the price of the big name brands. Two jackets super popular in the backpacking world are the Outdoor Vitals Ventus as well as their Vario. Both of these jackets are active layers and provide great breathability, stretch, and maneuverability and comfort while you're out in the backcountry. They help you regulate your body temperature in cold temperatures at an affordable price. The Ventus is really a ultralight option in cool temperatures, where the Vario is a warmer jacket for those really colder temperatures. Outdoor Vitals states that the Ventus is named for the Latin origin word for wind. This is a lightweight insulated active hoodie that vents incredibly well while maintaining a static insulation properties. For the Vario, they state that the word comes from variability. Named for its adaptability, this jacket revolutionizes ultralight backpacking without compromised warmth or comfort. It is everything you know and love about the Ventus active hoodie, but also has pockets and a full zipper and more insulation. So really that's the main features that make these jackets stand out. They're super similar, but the Vario is going to be warmer and packs more insulation. Both these jackets come in multiple sizes as well as color options, but they are a bit limited. For the Ventus, you can get it in black, gray, olive, or blue like this one here. For the Vario, it comes in either black, blue, or mahogany like this one here. Compared to the big name brands, both these jackets are relatively affordable. The Ventus sells new for $179.97 and the Vario sells new for $209.97. Both jackets are backed by the Outdoor Vitals Performance Promise. Looking at these two jackets, there's a lot of similarities that they share. They're both lightly insulated jackets meant to be active layers. Both are stretchy for a good range of movement. Both are breathable and do a great job regulating your body temperature in high output activities. Both these jackets are also synthetic insulation, so they can still keep you warm even if they get wet. They can be used as a mid layer underneath the shell or also a standalone jacket. So let's check out the differences in a bit more detail. Both the Vario and the Ventus use the same kind of outer shell. It is a 20 denier ripstop nylon shell and inner liner. This provides a great balance of durability while also being lightweight. It still feels nice and soft to the touch. It also has a built-in mechanical stretch, which is a two-way stretch nylon, which gives you good freedom of movement while you are being active. Both these jackets are coated with a DWR finish to help repel water. And one thing that the Ventus has is it also has these little extra reflective stripes here, which can aid if you are running or biking. Let's talk about the insulation. Both these jackets use the same type of insulation, but they differ on the amount. This insulation is called the 3D Effects insulation from Toray. This insulation contains a variable thickness of fibers, and of those fibers, they also are spiraled. This spiral helps create stretch as well as extra loft. It has a great warmth to weight ratio as well, and 3D Effects stretches with you as you move, allowing for more heat to pass through the more you are active. But when you're not in motion, the insulation actually maximizes your loft so that it can still keep you nice and warm. The 3D Effects is that synthetic insulation that comes in sheets, so you don't need baffles or anything to keep it in place, so that also helps reduce any cold spots. Outdoor Vitals also has strategic body mapping for this insulation, so it places insulation where you need it most and less insulation where you don't. And so that's what actually really helps also in the breathability of this jacket, as well as increasing airflow to prevent you from overheating. What sets these two jackets apart is the amount of insulation that it uses. For the Ventus, it actually uses 25 grams of 3D Effects insulation. For the Vario, it's going to use 40 grams of 3D Effects insulation. So as you can see, the Vario has a lot more insulation compared to the Ventus. The weight for the Ventus is 7 7 ounces, or that's 199 grams. The weight for the Vario, on the other hand, is 9 ounces, or that's 255 grams. So the Ventus is going to be your lighter version of the two. Relatively speaking, compared to other jackets, these are both relatively ultra light for the amount of warmth that they produce. Let's talk about breathability. Now, nylon is not the most breathable, but it's going to be a thinner denier that these jackets use at 20 denier, so that does help in the breathability. But the air permeability of the shell is only 20 CFM. So one feature that Outdoor Vitals has actually worked into their jackets is perforated holes under the armpits. These underarm vents are really well placed because under your arms is the place where you release a lot of heat, so this is a really strategic place to put it. There's also no insulation in those spots, and so that combined with the holes really helps increase airflow. And comparing the Ventus to the Vario, you can see how much more section of those perforated holes that the Ventus has compared to the Vario. What this is going to do is make the Ventus the more breathable of the two jackets, but the Vario still is a great breathable jacket as well. Let's talk about the warmth. Now, the Vario, as you know, has more insulation, and it's going to be your warmer of the two jackets. While I'm trail running, I can take the Vario down to about 18 degrees and still feel pretty comfortable because it keeps me nice and warm while still being breathable. Now with the Ventus, because it does have less insulation, I did start to feel cold sooner, and I started to feel cold with the Ventus around 28 degrees while I was moving. Now sitting still, the Vario is also much warmer. It kind of can be a replacement for a 3-season down jacket because it does a really good job of keeping in the heat when you're not moving. I could get down to about 30 degrees just sitting still and be comfortable before I started to feel cold. For the Ventus, on the other hand, I started to feel cold while sitting still, close to about 39 degrees. So keep in mind, these pieces are mainly to keep you warm while you are moving, but because of the insulation properties, they still do a good job of keeping in warm air when you're not. Let's talk about the quilting pattern and the stitching. As you can see, both these jackets do not have any specific quilting pattern or baffles, and that's because the insulation is in sheets, so that allows you to not have cold spots. Where you do have stitching, the stitching is very well done, and I haven't had any issues as far as tears or anything like that. Let's talk about the pockets, and this is another difference between these two jackets. The Ventus, as you can see, has no front pockets. So you don't have the hand warmer pockets where you can put your hands in. And that's one thing I was really missing on this jacket. But considering it is an active layer, you're going to be moving most of the time, it is understandable, but that's one of the things they sought to do to save weight. For the Vario, on the other hand, you do have two front side pockets that are zippered as well, and those do a good job of keeping your hands nice and warm. So if you are looking at using one of these as a replacement to a 3-season down jacket, the only one I would suggest would be the Vario. Now looking inside, the Vario does not have any internal pockets. The Ventus, on the other hand, has this little mesh pocket here that has elastic at the top, and so you can put things in there like keys or a phone or anything like that. So another nice feature that it has. Let's talk about the cuffs. Both these jackets have elastic cuffs. As you can see here, the Vario has a thinner elastic here, where the Ventus, it has it mainly on one of the sides. So it is a little bit different, but they do function the same way and keep cold drafts from coming up your sleeves. Another cool thing is they both have thumb loops, and that's a feature I really enjoy, especially if you like to layer. That prevents the sleeves from rolling up as you do. I will say the sleeves on the Ventus are a little bit more slimmer, so it's a little harder to roll up your sleeves on that one if you did need to do that. Both these jackets also feature hem cinch cords, and it's one tab on the right hand side, and that's a really nice feature that you can use to tighten the hem of your jacket to prevent cold drafts from going through. Both these jackets also feature hoods, and these are a little bit smaller hoods, which we can call scuba hoods. The Ventus is a little bit smaller and more tighter fitting than the Vario hood. The Vario does feel a bit more relaxed though compared to the Ventus. They're also insulated hoods, so they do keep your head nice and warm. Both these hoods also have elastic at the brim to keep it nice and connected to your head. And both these hoods move with your head as you move it side to side, so your vision isn't obstructed in any way. Both these hoods can also fit under your helmet, not over the helmet. And being smaller hoods, they also have no cinch cord adjustability. Let's talk about the zippers. This is another place we see a big difference in these two jackets. For the Ventus, as you see, it's only this half zip. And so if you do need to take it on and off, it can be a little bit cumbersome because you have to pull it over your head as opposed to just opening the zipper and taking it off. The zipper on the Ventus is also a smaller zipper compared to the Vario. They both are YKK zippers, so they're really high quality and dependable. Both these jackets also have a wind flap behind the zipper to prevent wind from penetrating through. And they also have a little cloth garage to prevent the zipper from rubbing your chin. I do really enjoy the full zip of the Vario. It makes it a whole lot more convenient to take on and off. Also a whole lot easier to dump heat if I am overheating. Let's talk about weather resistance. Both these jackets are very similar in how they repel water. They both use a DWR acrylic coating on the jacket. And this is gonna help repel rain as well. As far as blocking the wind, the Vario is gonna be a better option for that because it has less perforated holes under the arms and more insulation that's gonna be able to keep that cold air out. Overall, keep in mind these are not raincoats, but something that can help repel light rain if you do find yourself in that scenario. Let's talk about the fit. Both these jackets claim to have an athletic fit, but the Ventus is by far more of a slimmer fit from my experience. It fits a whole lot closer to the skin compared to the Vario. And if I wanted to fit any additional layers underneath the jackets, I could probably only fit a base layer underneath the Ventus. For the Vario, it is a bit more relaxed of a fit, and I could fit more layers underneath if I wanted to compared to the Ventus. Now I have broad shoulders and I sometimes feel restricted in some jackets, and for these jackets, because of the motion that it already has built in with that stretch, I didn't feel restrictive too much. I did feel a little bit tight with the Ventus compared to the Vario. Both these jackets also feature a drop back hem, and this is good to keep you covered whether you're sitting or on the move. It's also helpful if you're wearing a backpack or riding a bike, so it keeps your backside nice and covered. Overall, looking at the fit of both of these, I do prefer the Vario fit over the Ventus. Now, if you have both of these jackets and you're really wanting to enhance your time out in the cold, you could even use the Ventus and then put the Vario over that, and because this is a little bit more relaxed fit, it enables you to do that. Let's talk about the comfort. Both these jackets are pretty comfortable in their own right, but what really dictates that is the temperatures you're going to be taking these in. For the colder, obviously go with the Vario. For the warmer temperatures, go with the Ventus. Both these jackets have a great mechanical stretch and move really well with your body, so while you're doing high output activities, you're not going to feel restricted. The tighter fit of the Ventus can be a bit more uncomfortable compared to the Vario, and if you're afraid of that, just size up one and try that out. Talk about style. Both these jackets are stylish in their own right. I can wear both of these around town while also being comfortable out in the backcountry. But the Vario for me is just more of a comfortable, stylish, all-round jacket. It has pockets, it's full zip, where the Ventus, on the other hand, is a bit more technical piece where you can't take it off. You don't have those hand warmer pockets. So if I'm going to go around town and I'm looking at style alone, the Vario takes it for me. Let's talk about compression. Both of these compress fairly well. For the Ventus, you don't really have a pocket to compress it in, but you can compress it in the hood, and you can see that it can compress fairly small. All right, so here is the Ventus compressed into its hood. As you can see, once you set it down, it's hard to keep the material in the hood, so it's just going to kind of expand out. For the Vario, it doesn't stuff into its front pocket, but you can stuff it as well in its hood. All right, so here's the Vario compressed into its hood. Now, as I hold the hoods, as you can see, the Ventus is going to be a bit more compressible than the Vario. So overall, both these jackets are pretty great in their own right. And if you're looking at these two jackets, the question you really need to ask yourself is, how cold of temperatures do I need to use these jackets in? If you're gonna get into colder temperatures, below freezing, really the best jacket for that is going to be the Vario. If you're in cooler temperatures that aren't getting close to freezing, then the Ventus is a great option as well. But if I had to choose between these two jackets, really I would go with the Vario over the Ventus because the pros outweigh the cons. The first pro for the Vario is it's a warmer jacket. You can definitely feel the difference when you're wearing the two in colder temps. The Vario packs more insulation and it does a better job of keeping in in the warmth compared to the Ventus. Another pro is the hand warmer pockets that the Vario has. The Ventus doesn't have that, which was one of the biggest cons I saw in that jacket. Another pro of the Vario, it's a full zip jacket compared to the Ventus that's only a half zip. So it makes it a whole lot easier to take on and off compared to the Ventus. Another pro is the Vario is a bit more relaxed, looser fit compared to the tighter fitting of the Ventus. This allows me to layer a little bit easier where it's a bit harder to do with the Ventus. Now let's consider some of the cons. The first con is it's going to be a heavier piece compared to the Ventus. It's only by a few ounces, but considering you have more insulation, it is understandable. Another con is it doesn't breathe as well as the Ventus. The Ventus has a lot more perforated holes under the armpits, which really releases a lot of heat. This one you can overheat a little bit easier because it doesn't have as much way to release heat compared to the Ventus. So what did you think of these two jackets? Which one won the jacket battle for you? Was it the Ventus or the Vario? Leave me a comment in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. Which one are you going with and why? If you like what you saw, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe for more backpacking content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.